Sustainability is at the heart of many conversations here in Davos, and I spoke to Her Royal Highness, Crown Princess Mary of Denmark, who is leading a campaign for sustainable fashion. The CEO agenda is a list of 8 sustainability priorities for the global fashion industry, and it was launched here in Davos.
It is the fashion industry's contribution to improving the state of the world. And it's developed by the Global Fashion Agenda in collaboration, close collaboration with its strategic partners that are industry leaders, and with the recognition that the industry has to transform itself, transform the way it produces, markets, and the way fashion is consumed. That the future for fashion is a sustainable one. And it's a very complex set of problems that the fashion industry is facing. And the Global Fashion Agenda is set out to provide a guidebook to what can you as an organisation, a brand, do to really start your sustainability agenda or build on your current sustainability agenda. And it's important that the big houses lead by example, because they can bring about some of the transformational changes that make changes through the whole supply chain for other brands and companies. But yet, we also know from the report that 50% of the industry have not yet taken any investments or made initiatives in for sustainability. And that's a worry, because we are seeing progress, but the progress is not happening quickly enough. And some of those barriers are because the fashion industry is one of the most complex production networks in the world, and the supply chain is very complex and fragmented. I think the industry has a way to go to provide real alternatives. We need to have a greater number of products out there that can be replaceable products for what the market is currently offering.
As well as setting out its own priorities, the CEO agenda supports 3 of the United Nations Development Programme's Sustainable Development Goals, aiming to provide affordable and clean energy, establish responsible production and consumption, and take urgent action to combat climate change, all by 2030. Eva Cruz is President and CEO of the Global Fashion Agenda.
We're on a mission to change the fashion industry. We're looking at how the fashion industry can change the way it produces fashion, but also the way it's being marketed. How do we engage with the consumer and talk about sustainability? And also how the consumer is acting in this space, because a lot of especially the environmental impact of fashion is also in the user phase, because we wash too much and we discard it at an end in landfill and so on. But we're on a mission to create a better planet via the fashion world.
And how has the World Economic Forum helped that?
Well, basically they have a very exciting arena where lots of big industry players are coming together. And big media outlets are looking into what's happening. So we've used the opportunity to do an event here and highlight what's the most important priorities for the CEOs in the fashion industry to tackle.
And what's been the reception like, Eva, when you've told them what you'd like them to do?
Well, we're so fortunate that we actually behind us have some of the biggest companies in the fashion space, and they have been with us in formulating what the plan looks like. So what are the core priorities that all CEOs should focus on right now, and also what are the long-term. So we have the backing of an industry actually who really wants to create this change. But obviously we do need to talk to those companies who haven't begun the journey yet. And that's why we are today launching our CEO agenda, which is trying to distill this picture, because I think it's really difficult for many CEOs where to start. I mean, there's so many issues out there. There's water, there's chemicals, there's CO2, there's all the social implications of fashion, and where to begin. And that's the CEO agenda's purpose, is actually to try to distill that picture and help give them guidance and support them, because we know that 50% of the world's fashion companies haven't really begun the journey or still finds it really difficult to tackle. And that is particularly the small and medium-sized segment. The giants are really good at it, and they also have in-house departments for sustainability experts and stuff. But the vast majority of companies really don't know where to begin.
If the companies or the fashion houses are worried about their profit margins, what do you say to them?
Well, we're not on a philanthropic quest here. This is big business. And to look into how you minimize uses of energy, for instance, or resources in general, that is also optimizing your business. So there's a huge profitable business case ahead. And I actually would argue that all companies that are not approaching the sustainability space, they're the ones that are going to miss out. Their margins are going to drop, and those are the companies who we're going to see lacking behind in the years to come.